Welcome to the AI Queens podcast, the show where women entrepreneurs learn to ditch the overwhelm, embrace AI, and build businesses fit for royalty. I'm Erika Stanley, your host and tech expert, here to deliver tools, tips, and actionable strategies to help you scale smarter. Let's get to it. There's something that keeps coming up in my conversations lately, and it's not something you might expect to hear from me since I have an AI consultancy, an AI podcast, a Substack. It's literally what I do for my clients. But I want you to know it's totally okay to be skeptical of AI. And I don't mean like, okay, fine, I'll tolerate your worries. I mean like, as in valid, smart, and totally necessary right now. If you've been anywhere near the internet lately, you may have noticed that everybody wants you to pick a team. You're either all in, drinking the AI Kool-Aid, building 47 bots before breakfast, or you're all out, calling everything a clanker and swearing you'll die before you let a robot write your emails. So it's cheerleader or hater. Those are apparently your only two options. But today, I want to hand you a third one, and it's the place where I actually live every single day, all day. Some people call it riding the fence or that I'm unable to make a decision. I just call it living in the gray area, and I think it might be the most honest place to be in 2026. So let's get to it. Let me be crystal clear about who you're talking to right now in case you're new to this podcast. I use AI every single day. It is woven into basically everything I do in my business. I have custom GPTs, I have Claude skills, AI note takers, the whole nine yards. This is my whole thing. I consider myself pretty pro AI. And also, there are things that I do not hand over to AI on purpose for reasons. And I think it's okay to be that person. That's the gray area. I'm not on the fence because I can't make up my mind, obviously. I am choosing to stay in that gray area because I have made up my mind about a lot of specific things, and the answers are not all the same. Now, here's what I figured out about all this backlash, and I want to throw this out there and just let you sit with it. You might not agree with me, but I really believe that most of the pushback happening right now has less to do with AI itself and more to do with the over-digitization of every single corner of our lives and the manipulation that comes with that. So think about it. We are carrying around a little computer in our pockets all the time. We're being tracked, harvested, upsold, and over-algorithmed to death. We've had personalized ads for shoes we've been shopping for following us around the internet, and that's been happening for years. It's not new. AI is just the newest boogeyman, the newest, shiniest thing to point at. And case in point, you know how ChatGPT is planning to roll out ads? Well, what makes people feel icky about that is that those ads could potentially be built off of your private conversations within ChatGPT. So the stuff that you typed into that little box thinking it was just you and the robot. That's the ick. That's not AI is evil. That's a company making a manipulative choice with your data. And those are two completely different problems that everybody keeps mashing into one. So here's what we're going to do on the podcast today. I want to walk you through the biggest criticisms of AI, the real ones, the loud ones, and I want to show you how it's okay to hold each one. And I also want you to know that it's okay not to pick a team. You can stay in the middle gray area with me. Humans are nuanced creatures, so let's get into the middle of this controversy. Let's actually validate some of these concerns because a lot of it's legit. First up, let's talk about jobs. This one is more than just paranoia, right? The data is real and it's ugly in spots. Depending on which stats you're looking at, the US has been shedding somewhere between 11 and 16,000 jobs a month to this stuff. A lot of those are entry-level postings. Those have dropped 34% over the last year. And 1 in 3 employers have straight up said they are replacing entry level jobs with AI. 9 out of 10 college graduates are scared that AI is coming for those jobs, this corporate ladder that they're just about to step onto. And and they're not wrong. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's all fine. But here's the gray area move. The goal is not to pretend that these jobs are safe. The goal is to make damn sure that you, especially women who have been historically shoved out of these tech rooms, are the ones who are learning this quickly. Because when the layoffs come, and I think they are coming, I want you to be the ones getting promoted for knowing how to use these tools instead of being the one shown the door. Now, of course, there's a little voice in my head. Just learn it fast is not a complete answer for everybody. It's going to be generally destabilizing, especially for entry level folks and women who make up the vast majority of clerical roles. Those are the ones that are getting hit first. I don't want to try to wrap this all in a bow. So what I'm saying here is learn it. Yes, be the person who's promoted. And also, you're allowed to be pissed on behalf of the people that this technology is steamrolling. You can do both things. Next up, the environment. This one really gets me because it's real and it's definitely one of the louder parts of the conversation. But it's also way more nuanced than we're giving it credit for. Data centers, right? They require a ton of water to stay cool. 7 out of 10 Americans do not want one built in their community. Electricity bills are climbing. In some data center heavy areas, electricity prices have more than doubled in the last 5 years. The water usage, it's staggering and it's scary. I'm not making this up. This is impacting specific communities right now. And as we know, traditionally, it's concentrated in communities of people who have the least say in these types of things. I also want to say, as we're talking about nuance, data centers did not start with generative AI. They have been humming along, powering your entire digital life for years. Your Netflix binge is wildly more data hungry than the old days of just turning on the TV. So the honest conversation isn't AI is just bad. It's more that we've got to grapple with our overall tech consumption as a society. If you're one of those people that's villainizing AI and also streaming 4 different shows on all your different devices, I want you to really think about that for a second. But, and this is me correcting my own homework, I am not going to use that reframe to wave the harm away. It's kind of giving why recycle when most of it doesn't actually get recycled energy. We'll come back to that in a minute. But we also don't want it to become an excuse to ignore a real escalating harm. Your individual efficient little prompt is a drop in the bucket next to the large scale industrial build out that's happening, whether you prompt or not. So the nuance here is that you can hold that big picture reframe and also take the harm seriously. We're all adults and we can hold space for both of those contradictions. Third, artists and copyright. Now, this is one where I'm genuinely conflicted because we all know that AI companies trained their models. They scooped up a mountain of work that people used and made for a living. Anthropic actually settled one of these cases with a bunch of authors. It was $1.5 billion over 480,000 works, written works. The Supreme Court, problematic as they are these days, has also said that purely AI generated stuff doesn't get to have a copyright because a human has to have made it. So here's my position on this, and you can feel free to disagree with me here. When someone writes a book that they sell for real money to feed their families, and it gets uploaded into the model without a dime going their way or hey, is this cool? That just feels different to me. It feels different than when I tell people to go and find blog posts that someone has written and published for free on the internet for everybody to read, to go and find those blog posts to feed into your AI CMO, for example. There's a difference between, for me at least, the free content and the book that somebody wrote and published and they sell. Again, that's part of the nuance and part of where we are all allowed to disagree. I think the most ethical thing here is that companies should have paid authors for that work. I mean, come on, that doesn't feel like a totally radical idea to just pay authors and pay artists for the work that they produce. Now, this also, I mean, this plays out in my business in the gray area. I mean, I had a conversation with Bloom Bauer. It was a few episodes ago on the podcast. She works with artists, some pro AI and some really anti AI, but she's teaching them how to use AI to help run their business. Not necessarily to create AI art, although she does that too, but also to help them manage the part of their business that takes them away from their art. And that's exactly what I do with my clients in the Brand to Bot Blueprint. We look at ways that you can integrate AI into your business, but it's the things that are pulling you away from your zone of genius. It's using AI to get back to what you loved about your business in the first place. If you want to chat about that, hit me up. You know where to find me. I'm on Instagram. My website is aiqueens.com. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the quote AI slop. Now, Merriam-Webster made slop a word of the year last year. Slop. That's where we're at. The internet is drowning in soulless, mass produced, nobody actually made this garbage. And people are exhausted. It's bots creating content, which is then read by bots and regurgitated into more content that's read by more bots. And you know what? I'm right there with the haters on this one because you may have heard me say this before. If you're using AI to crank out 30 Instagram captions in 2 minutes, you're using it wrong. That is slop with your name on it, and people can tell. Your customers can tell. But the antidote to slop is the exact thing that AI can't fake. It's your voice, your judgment, your taste, your actual point of view. Human made is a premium these days, and it is about to be worth a whole lot more. Now, I want to tell you about a conversation I had with my friend Sarah this week because it's basically where I got the idea for this whole episode. Now, Sarah's a friend of mine. She's been on this mission lately to debunk AI misinformation. I've watched it play out on Threads. It's actually hilarious. And Sarah is smart as hell. She uses AI a lot. She and I don't fully agree on where the lines are. And I think that's actually really beautiful. I love Sarah and I love our conversations and the fact that we can discuss these things and not agree or agree on most things, but maybe not one specific thing and still respect the hell out of each other. So here's the lesson I want you to take from that. It's actually the point of the whole episode. Sarah and I are both pro AI women who use these tools every day. And even we landed in different spots in the gray area. Neither of us is a hater, and neither of us is all like, rah, rah, AI is going to cure all the things. We're two people who both are approaching it logically, have thought about it, and coming out of it with slightly different angles. And that, my friends, is what critical thinking actually looks like. You are allowed to be not all in on AI and also not have it all figured out. All right. So, how do you actually do this? Like, how do you live in the gray area on purpose instead of just vibing and hoping and scrolling your feed and rolling your eyes every time some tech bro tells you can make $1 million in 30 days by creating some AI digital product? You need to get super clear on where you draw the line, but also give yourself permission to be flexible as you learn more. So, let me give you 5 ways that you can do this. 1, decide your lines on purpose. Write your own personal AI transparency list. So, my friend Sarah actually had this idea of putting it right on her website. Here's where I use AI, here's where I don't. Now, you don't have to publish it, but you should know what's a hell yes and what's a hell no. What gives you the ick? Name it before you're in the moment. 2, use AI for your zone of capacity, but protect your zone of genius. Okay, so you may have heard me talk about Prince Harry and the ghostwriting before, but here's that story again. Prince Harry. This man paid something like $1 million for a ghostwriter to write his memoir. Why did he do that? Because Prince Harry knows he's not a writer. He is a lot of things, but not a writer. And he wasn't going to sit there and pretend that he was. He outsourced the thing that wasn't his zone of genius so that the book could actually be good and people would read it. That's not cheating. That man just knows what he's good at and what he's not. So for you, use AI for the stuff that drains you and isn't your magic. But guard the stuff that is your magic with your life. Do not outsource that. Number 3, choose your tools by your values. All right, now you are totally allowed to have standards when you are choosing your tools. When Anthropic told the Pentagon, no, you cannot use Claude for autonomous weapons and mass surveillance, the US government basically booted them and picked up OpenAI instead. That tells you something about who is building this technology and what they stand behind. And I mean, also, while we're at it, Canva. Canva is the highest valued woman-owned tech company on the planet. You're allowed to factor stuff like that in when you're choosing tools. And you can always switch tools. That's actually why I keep folders of all of my documents, the ones that I use with AI, on my desktop instead of only inside the tools, so that I can switch if I ever need to. 4, keep your thinking muscles. Now, there's this thing, it's a real thing, researchers have dubbed cognitive surrender. It basically just means that heavy AI use is getting linked to eroded critical thinking, especially in younger people. So here's the rule that I set for myself. I outsource the busy work, but don't outsource your brain, right? You can use AI to even expand what you're thinking on, to argue with you, to poke holes, to push you further, but just don't let it start doing all the thinking for you. And while we're in the honesty corner, a few more things that I don't want to skip. The companion app stuff and the youth safety stuff is real and it's growing fast. Kids and teens, they're forming genuine emotional dependencies on chatbots. There's lawsuits, new state laws scrambling to catch up. If you're a mom listening, this isn't fear-mongering, and it deserves your attention. I hope you spend a little time doing a bit more research. There's also a very loud AI bubble conversation happening. The Bank of England, the IMF, like everybody's comparing this to the dot-com era. So if you're building your business exclusively on these tools, and that's okay, you can be, build them on transferable skills and your own clarity, not on white knuckle dependence on a single platform that could triple its price overnight or vanish and just cancel a model that you totally love. Skills can move with you. Subscriptions don't. And finally, let's talk about deepfakes. So this is the first main election cycle where we've seen industrial scale synthetic political ads. And the scary part isn't just one fake video, it's the slow erosion of trust. Can I trust anything I see? We have an administration in power right now who has shown us that they don't care about posting real images. They post obviously AI generated fakes and then laugh about it. All of this goes to say, as a business owner, you make content. So that erosion of trust can land on you too. Watch out for it, avoid it, and keep your credibility clean. 5, And this is super important. I want you all to stay in the conversation instead of hiding from it. I don't want you to just go silent and pretend that you don't use AI because you're afraid of being poo-pooed or tisk-tisked, right? The move is to talk about it honestly. Hold your lines out loud, and this is the part I love. Build your own rooms. I want you to stop waiting for permission from the tech bros at the table. Have these conversations in your community. Don't be afraid to be the one who says, hey, it's okay to use AI. And also, I don't ever use it for this. The more you talk about your own nuanced gray area, the more you're giving others permission to step into theirs. Here's where I want to leave you. Skepticism is not the opposite of intelligence. In this case, the skepticism is the intelligence. The people asking the hard questions about jobs and water and consent and whose livelihood just got fed into a machine. Those people are not stupid and they're not behind. I believe they're the people really paying attention. And the gray area here, and I want to say this louder for the people who keep trying to make us feel guilty for not picking a side. The gray area is okay. You don't have to be all in on AI and you don't have to be all anti-AI. It's okay to actually decide on purpose, tool by tool, line by line, what you'll use and what you won't and why. You don't have to be all in. You don't have to be all out. I just want you to decide for yourself. And listen, if you're sitting there thinking, all right, I love this, but I have no idea where my lines actually are. This is exactly what I do inside the Brand to Bot Blueprint. We get all the way deep into your business together and we map out the exact AI processes that'll actually help you, the ones worth building, and we name the ones that give you the ick so that you can skip them with zero guilt. Clarity before tools. That's the whole thing. So come find me at aiqueens.com and let's build the version of this that fits you. Thanks for listening to the AI Queens podcast. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow queen who needs to hear this. Want more tools and tips? Join the AI Queens Society over at aiqueens.com and start ruling your business with confidence today. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep reigning with AI.